the Democratic Republic of Congo finds itself once again teetering on the brink. The eastern region, a patchwork of rebel groups and simmering tensions, has erupted in violence. At the heart of the crisis is the M23 rebel group, whose resurgence threatens to plunge the country back into open warfare. The city of Goma, a strategic hub in eastern DRC, has become the epicenter of this latest crisis. M23 rebels, bolstered by Rwandan forces, have advanced rapidly, seizing control of Goma airport. DRC soldiers, outgunned and outmaneuvered, have surrendered en masse to the Rwandan troops supporting the M23 advance. The speed of the rebel advance has shocked many observers, raising fears that Goma could fall entirely into rebel hands. The city, home to over 1 million people, is now facing a humanitarian catastrophe. Hospitals are overwhelmed with the wounded, food and medical supplies are running low, and thousands are fleeing their homes in search of safety. The violence has not been confined to the battlefields around Goma. In a worrying escalation, the US, French and Rwandan embassies in Kinshasa, the capital of DRC, have come under attack. Angry mobs, fueled by rumors and resentment, stormed the embassy compounds, setting buildings ablaze and forcing diplomats to seek refuge. The attacks, a clear violation of international law, have drawn widespread condemnation. The targeting of diplomatic missions underscores the volatile situation and the deep-seated anger at foreign interference in DRC's affairs. The humanitarian cost of this latest conflict is already staggering. The fighting has displaced over 400,000 people since the beginning of the year, adding to the millions already displaced by previous rounds of conflict. Reports of looting, sexual violence, and extrajudicial killings paint a grim picture of the situation on the ground. The international community, caught off guard by the speed and intensity of the violence, has scrambled to respond. The African Union, the United Nations, and various Western governments have all condemned the violence and called for an immediate ceasefire. France, a former colonial power in the region, has been particularly vocal in its condemnation of Rwanda's alleged role in the conflict. French officials have called on Rwanda to cease its support for the M23 rebels and engage in dialogue with the Congolese government. Kenya, seeking to prevent the crisis from spiraling further, has announced an emergency summit with the Congolese and Rwandan presidents. The aim is to broker a ceasefire and initiate dialogue between the warring parties. However, with trust between the parties at an all-time low, the chances of a breakthrough appear slim. To understand the current crisis, it's essential to delve into the complex history of the M23 rebel group. The group, largely composed of ethnic Tutsis, emerged in 2012 from a mutiny within the Congolese army. They claimed to be fighting for the rights of Congolese Tutsis, who they alleged were being marginalized by the government. Rwanda, accused by the DRC and the UN of backing the M23, denies any involvement. However, evidence suggests that Rwanda has provided significant support to the rebels, including weapons, training, and troops. Rwanda's motivations are complex, but they likely stem from a desire to maintain influence in eastern DRC, a region rich in minerals and strategic importance. The current crisis is just the latest chapter in a long and bloody conflict that has plagued eastern DRC for decades. A complex web of ethnic tensions, competition for resources, and regional rivalries has fueled the violence, leaving millions dead and countless others displaced. Despite numerous attempts at peace agreements and international interventions, a lasting solution remains elusive.